You know what? Champions are really good at the basics. And what I mean by that is that if you're going to be a great agent, you got to think about what really gets you the result and the outcome. Now, the things that get you the result and the outcome are about getting appointments booked. Now, if you want to level up your game, if you want to play a different way, you got to get me to 3 appointments in a day. Now, if you get me to 3 appointments a day, that's 15 appointments in the course of a week, that's 60 appointments in the course of a month, that's 600 appointments a year, because I give you 2 months off. So if you're going to work 10 months of the year and you're going to just start thinking about it, the entire goal of what you do at the office every day is about getting on the phone. The entire goal of getting on the phone is to get the appointment booked. So how much longer are you going to wait? Now, I said this to someone the other day, and we featured it in a daily email. I said, okay, great. You make 1 call session a day extra. You do that, that's 200 call sessions extra a year. You get me 1 appointment booked, that's 200 appointments. If 10% of those turn out to be a listing that lists with you, that's 20 extra listings. 20 extra listings at a $10,000 fee, which is conservative, that's 200 grand. You're talking 20 extra listings in New Zealand with an average fee of 30 grand in Auckland, you could be talking $600,000 extra in production. So this is amazing, because what are you actually trying to achieve? We're trying to solve the wrong problem here. People are like, oh, should we do some advertising on a bus shelter? Should we put something on the side of a bus? Should we get more leaflets out? Should we door knock? Should we cold call? No, why don't we just find a way? Now, that way, by the way, might be you walking through your local supermarket, and every single time you do that, you pick up a listing lead. Well, my idea, go to the supermarket more often. Maybe it's about saying open for inspections are going to be where we're going to generate our leads. Maybe it's going to be about past clients or personal network. But getting a formula that is going to work for you so that you feel like doing it more often. And you know what? There is going to be a ton of rejection, and things aren't going to go your way. And people are going to say no to you, and that's going to get weird. But you know what the best in the business do? They actually find a way to really hit that level of success. And that's all you've got to do. You just got to start making some better decisions around what it is that you're doing as an agent to really drive that activity. And when champions are good at the basics, what they're thinking about is that how do I get more out of every single call? How do I make sure that I'm getting what I need here to help the customer, to move them forward, to get them away from their dissatisfaction, to pull them towards their vision? Now, if you're going to be a champion at it, you've got to start thinking, okay, my listing presentation needs to be great. Because if I'm going to be in front of a consumer today, how do I get them to say yes to me? Well, you ask the right questions, you lead them to the outcome, you get them what they want, you get them feverish, you get them wanting to sign that agency agreement. Because that's what great agents do. They commit to doing the basics really well each day. That means, maybe getting up at the right time, exercising, spending some time with family and friends, being in a position that they're motivated by listening to some music. The last thing I want to do is have to motivate someone else. Get yourself into a position that you are energetic and driven about what success looks like. Now, in order to do that, to be a champion, focus on activities. So behaviors, activities, results. And you can actually spend more time at the bar, actually. Behaviors, activities, results. Start thinking, okay, what are the behaviors now that set me up for success? Getting in at the same time every day so that people know that I'm relentlessly reliable. Being in a position that I'm decisive in my actions. If what I'm doing right now isn't working, then I'm going to adapt boldly and shift that and use new technologies and use new ways to get in front of customers. And then when I do that, I start thinking about what are the actions that, if are consistent, leads to an outcome. Meeting with people, getting in front of them, going to their house, having a conversation that then leads to the results that I actually desire. And in order to be really good at the basics, you need to really strip it back, pull back. What are the things right now that just don't work? We once spoke about the last 50 transactions. If you went through the last 50 deals in your business, what were actually the lead sources? It's a good time to do that activity again, because I want to see how much money that you're spending in additional marketing and all of those things is actually producing you the result. Now, because if it's not getting you a result, then why are you doing it? And this is about tweaking what it is that you do. Interestingly enough, there was a statistic that came out in the United States last year that 440,000 people died in United States hospitals due to something we've got to call preventable errors. Here's the idea. How many millions of dollars in fees do you lose every year because of the preventable errors that are happening in your business? And this is where you want to move back to systems. Systems, forms, checklists, visuals, dialogues, things that actually help you to set you up for success. Forms that capture information, that ensure essential questions, that prevent those errors from occurring. Checklists that ensure that you've got everything that you need to get everything you can in that particular situation. And then starting to think about visuals that tell a really powerful story, and then dialogue that is actually more effective because it actually gets the result. That's all you need to do. Start thinking about the basics, strip it back, get back to doing a 45-minute call session, get back to getting 3 appointments a day. If you do that, you will write the million and some. And that's what you got to do. Champions are also really good at knowing what it is that they want. Because if the fuel's there, then you actually use that fire to get that energy and that momentum and the consistency that you actually want out of your career. I really hope you enjoyed this week's coaching tip, and I look forward to seeing you next week.